Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here today. If you are new to my channel and you are interested in tarot cards, tarot readings, true crime cases, unsolved cases, please consider subscribing. For those of you who return every week, I thank you so much for that. That really I get so excited when I post on Sundays because I know there's like a regular group of viewers that tune in, and I just look so forward to their comments, and that just kind of like makes my day. But anyway, thank you for returning. I do want to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day. This is Saturday the 13th, so you will probably, hopefully, be watching this video on Sunday, on Valentine's Day. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I plan on, well, I got a plant. I got a new plant, so I want to do some repotting. I'm going to try to do it inside the house because it's like 20 degrees outside, and I can't handle that. So I've got some of the plastic paper that you lay down on the floor when you're painting. I have a couple of those in the garage, and so I'm going to bring them in here and into the family room, and I'm going to lay it out and see if I can repot this plant without making too much of a mess inside the house. And so that's my plan. Probably laundry, probably some other cleaning just to catch up. It's been a really, really busy week with the candle making and whatnot, and so I haven't really had a chance to do anything really around the house. So that's going to be my Valentine's Day. But I hope everybody enjoys their day and stays safe and stays warm. So let me see. I don't even know where to begin with this case. This is such a this is a doozy. I don't know how else to say it. This was a requested case. Really interesting case, a good one to pull on. I don't want to lose myself and start going into this case and just going over the murders and too much about it, because some of that stuff comes out later on in the video as I'm just drawing cards, and so I'll bring up things that I might have read or seen or something like that, and I'll connect it to a card that I may have pulled. So I don't want to get too much of it into the background and the story of this case in the beginning, because what I find out is, or what I find myself doing is, it's 20 minutes before I even get into the tarot cards. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to assume that we all kind of know about the Zodiac killer, very well-known serial killer. And so if there is any more information that you need or want, I am going to put some articles in the description box below. I did watch a couple of documentaries on the History Channel on YouTube, and those were really good. They were really in-depth, detailed, a lot of information, debunked a lot of stuff that is out there, focused on two specific suspects by the names of Ross Sullivan and Lawrence Kane. Those two, I think, are the ones that probably stand out the most to me anyways. And definitely, if you watch this video that I'm going to put down in the description box, I really do recommend watching it if you haven't already. But these two people, these two suspects, really, there's so much circumstantial evidence on both of them. You can't really necessarily decide one over the other because they're just so similar and can be connected to so many things that are happening in this case. So as far as today's reading, I do kind of want to focus on those two individuals and do some yes or no questions. And just the basic questions that we all are dying to know. Is this man still alive? Why did he quit sending these letters into the police and into the media? Did something happen? Was he arrested? Was he killed? Did he, anything? So we don't know what happened to him. These things happened in the late 60s, early 70s. And so, this was a man who was sending in letters with coded, messages and taunting the police and just kind of just playing this very nasty game, sending out threats, and then boom, all of a sudden one day it stops. So we just don't know. I often think that I think that he was definitely killing before he was known as the Zodiac Killer. There was a stabbing in Riverside, California in 1966 at a university there, a library. A young 18-year-old woman was at the library studying. She goes out to her car when the library closes at 9. Something's wrong with the car. She can't get it started. Lo and behold, this stranger comes in and offers to help her and ends up killing her. And so that case has often been, somewhat connected to the Zodiac, but they have never really, I don't think, for sure connected it to the Zodiac. But there's a lot of similarities in just the MO. And if this is the case, if the Zodiac was responsible for this case or this girl being murdered, and I do think he is or was, that means that he was killing for a lot longer than they originally thought. And he was killing for an earlier time, so is this something that he just, was doing and, I hate to say it, but like perfecting his craft? Was he just doing this, and then once he felt confident enough to be able to possibly get away with it and not make any mistakes, that's when he went public and started sending these letters? I don't know. So those are definitely some of the questions that I want to get into today. But like I said, I don't want to get too much into the background. I am going to link everything in the description box below. And I do want to, like I said, focus on those two names and see if we can get, with the cards, I want to see if we can, for sure ask if this person is still alive or in prison or what he is doing currently. Has he continued killing? Has he killed since that last letter that he sent in? Something that we're not aware of, maybe. Also, if he stopped, why did he stop? Also, I'm curious to know if he has a military background, because I believe that there were boot prints found at some of the crime scenes, and so I think they have connected those to being military style boots. Not to say that you couldn't buy something like that as a civilian, but with the haircut style, the crew cut style that's been reported, and the boots and whatnot, and I think there was a rifle or a gun that he used. You'll have to forgive me because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about guns or rifles or anything. So I believe there was something that seemed to kind of be affiliated with the military somehow. So they were wondering if this man had some military background. So I'm curious about that as well. And yeah, so that's probably, and whatever questions that come up or may arise as the tarot reading is going on. So that's kind of where we're going to go today. Again, like I said, this could probably have a part 2 or a part 3 because this is just such an intense case. But yeah, so for the reading today, I have 3 decks. I have the Dark Grimoire, the Hoodoo Tarot, and for something different, I have the Dark Mirror Tarot. And actually, no, these are Oracle cards. Sorry. I've had these for a very long time. I've only used them maybe 3 times. I don't know these cards at all, so I'm just going to wing it. What we get is what we get. We're going to try our best to interpret it based on how we feel and how that card looks. So I thought that this was, I don't like this deck. I mean, I don't want to say I don't like it. I don't want to put those bad vibes on my deck, but it's not that I don't like it. It is nothing that I feel necessarily drawn to on most of the cases that I'm reading on. It is a darker kind of deck, as are these as well. But this is a whole different level of dark. So I just wanted to kind of start the reading off with one of these cards and just kind of see if we can kind of get an overall vibration of this man. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to read anything. I'm just going to get right into the card pulling. So let's start here with, God, I'm making a mess, dropping my cards everywhere. Let's start giving this a shuffle here and see what we can get to get this reading started. So we've got the Zodiac Killer. What can we Let me learn about the Zodiac Killer. It's a small deck. It's not like your traditional 78 card tarot deck. It's just oracle cards are a little bit different than regular tarot cards. Oftentimes you may not get a major or a minor. It's just however many cards are in that particular deck and the different meanings. So I like oracle cards. I do have quite a few of them, but I don't typically like them for regular readings. It's kind of more of a one a day, kind of like, how's your day going to go, or something that you can keep in mind for that day. That's kind of how I see oracle cards. Okay. Zodiac Killer. What do we need to know about the Zodiac Killer? What do we need to know about the Zodiac Killer? 1960s, 1970s Zodiac Killer. Okay, here it is. Huh. Blinded to pain. All right, well, I think that speaks for itself. Oh, and look at that. It is the number 13. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's a 13 here. Let's look at this card for a second, because it's very... Okay, so blinded to pain, that tells me that, I don't know, the way I look at this, or the way I interpret that, is that the stuff that he has done or is doing doesn't seem to bother him any. That's the way I take that. It just doesn't, this is a person that possibly doesn't have a conscience and just does these things and enjoys it and doesn't bother him. This is a woman here. She's blindfolded. She's got all these, it looks like scratch marks or something, cuts on her chest, and it looks like there's flies. Yeah, there's flies all over her wounds right here. So, and it's 13, so that is the death card in a regular tarot deck. So death, that, take it as you will. I don't usually take it literal, but oftentimes it means a transition. So I kind of feel like, given the regular traditional tarot definition of death with the transition, I'm kind of wondering if that is meaning that somewhere along the line, this person who maybe started out as a human being maybe transitioned into a monster along the way. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know. I don't necessarily know if any of us are born with these evil things inside of us. I think that we all have two sides, a shadow self and a light self. And, it's important to have both of those, but it's also important to keep those two things in check and in balance. You don't want one going over the other. That's when things can kind of get out of whack, obviously. And so I don't necessarily know. There's a lot of factors. I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but there's that whole nature versus nurture theory. Is it your environment? Is it something genetic? There's something going on with this particular individual, and I don't necessarily think that he was born that way. I think that there was something that happened along the way that transitioned him into this thing that he is. So I do think that these crimes that he's committed, I don't think that he feels bad at all. I really don't. It doesn't bother him. I don't think that this is a person that is not getting any sleep because of what he's done. So yeah, that's how I would interpret that card. Let me know if you guys feel like there's anything different that you are getting from this. But first card in the Dark Mirror Tarot or Oracle deck is this one here, number 13, Blinded to Pain. So I do feel like this is somebody who doesn't have any emotions, and that's, what is that? What do they call people that don't have any kind of, like, a psychopath, or I don't know, like the medical term for it, but I think that's what we're dealing with here. This is somebody who can do these things and not think twice about it. So Interesting. Interesting start to the case. So I do want to, trying to figure out if I want to start with the Dark Grimoire or, yeah, let's start with the Dark Grimoire and see. So I want to go ahead and ask the number one question, is this person still alive? So we're talking about the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer, is this person, is he still alive? Is this person still alive? The Zodiac Killer still alive today? Is the Zodiac Killer still alive today? And let me know too what you guys think, if you think that he is alive or if you think he's in prison or something else, because I would be curious to know. Is the Zodiac Killer still alive? Yes or no? Is the Zodiac Killer still alive? Huh. I'm going to say yes. We've got an ace. We've got the Ace of Swords. I really do feel like this person could potentially be alive. The ace is, beginnings, new beginnings, swords, this is like intellect, ideas, new thoughts, new things like that. And so just the fact that it's an ace to me represents yes. So I am going to take this as, yeah, I do think that this man is still alive. Now he is probably nearing his late 60s, possibly 70s. But that's still, that's still kind of young. I mean, this is a person that could potentially be going out on the weekend and, grabbing a bite to eat or watching a movie or just living a normal life. Another thing is I want to ask if, let me write that down before I forget. If this man has, I want to see if it comes up in the reading, if this man has a family, if he's ever married, had children. So, I do want to ask that. Okay. Does the Zodiac Killer have a family? Does the Zodiac Killer have a family? Huh. 5 of Pentacles. As far as a yes or no, this would be a no. And even if I, was looking at the card itself, I would still lean towards a no. Just simply because this man in this image is alone. He is looking at that crowd of people walking by on the street, but he himself, this kind of actually makes me feel like more of a hermit vibration. So I do feel like this person is alone. He may not be doing very well. He may be drinking. I see that there is a bottle right here next to this man, and it's empty. And he's obviously, this is a 5 of Pentacles, so this is kind of like a tattered, spot that, in his life that he's in. And so I do kind of feel like this is saying that, he has not probably married. He doesn't have a family. Most likely he's a loner. Maybe more of an observer than he is anything else, watches people, probably has some deep inner issues, maybe a drinker. This guy here looks like he's worn his clothes out and he's got a beard. So I kind of feel like that could potentially mean that our person here is probably not doing very well. He's probably, antisocial, I would assume. Watches people, doesn't really interact with them, watches people from a distance, possibly, has an issue with drinking. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning with that card. So interesting. So I think number 1, yes, he is alive, and no, he does not have a family. He's more of a loner. So, okay, so having said that, I'm going to put these cards back into the deck, and I am going to go ahead and do the regular kind of reading that I do and see what comes out. So we are asking about the Zodiac Killer. Zodiac Killer. information can we get about the Zodiac Killer? What information can we get about the Zodiac Killer? Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned this when I did my intro about the two suspects. This documentary that I'm going to add in the description box from the History Channel really zoomed in on two people in particular, and that was Ross Sullivan and Lawrence Kane. So they kind of debunked, because there are several other suspects, but they kind of debunked most of them. And when they kind of did their process of elimination, they ended up with these two men. So there's a lot of circumstantial evidence for both of these men, nothing really, concrete to really pinpoint one or the other. So I do want to do some readings on a little bit, pull at least 2 or 3 cards on each one of those men. Okay, so I will do that towards the end. All right, so what can we find out about Queen of Cups, the Magician, there's that Ace again, 5 of Wands, so we've got 5s again, Tower, 4 of Pentacles, the Wheel, the Moon. So right away, just looking at this, I feel like this up here, the Queen of Cups, and again, I always forget to add this in. This is for entertainment purposes only. I know I get sometimes comments and, people are like, oh, well, you said this and that. And it's like, okay, it's just for entertainment. That doesn't mean that I don't take the cards seriously, because I do. But, I don't know these things for a fact, okay? So we are just kind of using our intuition and looking at the cards and, pulling what we can from them. But right away, I feel like this Queen of Cups is possibly a mother figure. And with the Tower right underneath the Queen of Cups, there's some event that potentially happened with this person's mother. So there's something going on. I don't know if, she is higher than the Tower. She's above the Tower. So I don't know if maybe, she held him to a higher standard, or maybe he looked up to his mother. But there is, I feel like, a motherly figure. I don't feel like this is any relationship, any love interest relationship. I do feel like this is mother. And so, typically the Queen of Cups is loving, nurturing. There's nothing really about the Queen of Cups that, really screams out something horrific. If it were reversed, then you could maybe start kind of looking into the negative aspects of it, but it's not. So, there are some mountains behind her. She's sitting here on her throne, and there are some mountains and clouds back there. So that could indicate some trials and tribulations that he encountered as far as his mother is concerned. But definitely with this Tower card underneath, I feel like there's some event that possibly took place with this person's mother that maybe led to him, or, helped to lead him to what he became. So interesting that comes out, because I do feel like this here, the Tower, is what he became. It's like he became a monster. And it's interesting that I'm using this deck. I think it's an appropriate deck, because it does kind of look like this is some sort of crazy creature. And these are crazy creatures, like monsters. And so I do feel like in this particular case, and very interesting that this top point, this peak here on the building here is broken. something happened, and I do feel that he was broken. So there is something, I think, wrong with him. Obviously, you don't need tarot cards to tell you that, but I think this is kind of helping us to zoom in on a particular time in his life, and I do think it was younger, because I think this is mom. So I think that there is something in his early life that happened that, you know, made him change into whatever he was or whatever he has become. So then we have the Magician. That just tells me that this is a very intelligent person, you know, and it has to be. This is not a surprise. I'm not surprised that the Magician came out. This is being able to do whatever you set your mind into doing. Had this been a person that didn't have this happen to him, or whatever issues going on with mom, if that didn't happen, he would have been a very, very successful man or individual. He could have done some really good things in his life, but he chose to go a different route with it. But that doesn't mean he's not intelligent, because he is. I think this is a person who, look, this person here is writing. To me, I mean, we know that one of the main things about the Zodiac killer that is so well known are the letters that he sent to the news media and the police, taunting them, you know, making threats about kids on school buses and things like that. So this is definitely, to me, him sitting at a desk somewhere, you know, writing these things, writing these codes. And, you know, if I look at the picture, because this is the first, actually, no, this is like the second time I've used this deck. And I haven't really looked at the pictures or know the pictures very well. We have a skull here, you know, so that is kind of concerning. And it makes me wonder if he takes trophies, or if there's something like that he keeps nearby when he's writing these letters. We've got some rolled up, it looks like scrolls over here in the back behind him. I think this is his, well, the Magician usually always has the 4 elements with him, so he always has all the tools: the sword, the cup, the wand, the pentacle. Those are all things that are included in this card. He has all of the tools that he needs necessary to, or that is necessary to be successful. So this is the cup. You know, he's got everything. So he's a very sensible man. He's very intelligent as far as academia. You know, writing these codes, these coded letters. That one that Zodiac 340 cipher, that just recently was deciphered recently. That went for 50 years without anybody being able to decipher it. So for a man to, you know, write something like that, I think it's, and for it not to be figured out for over 50 years really shows that this man, you know, is unique when it comes to that. Very intelligent. So it's too bad he went the other way. And then if I look at, I'm still looking at this, you know, this is, I don't know. I like to look at all things on the cards. I mean, I'm just even looking at the person himself, his physical description. This does not meet any of the descriptions that we have of the Zodiac. This guy has a beard. He looks tall and thin, you know, but he does have that look of determination, focus, you know, almost even scary. It's almost like he's facing or looking off into, like he's daydreaming. It doesn't even look like he's focused on what he's writing. He's really just kind of, you know, zoned out. So let's keep that in mind. Kind of, does he zone out at times? Is he kind of robotic? Does he just, I don't know. Very interesting. So then we have the 4 of Pentacles, and that is, you know, in this case, I'm wondering if it's just stinginess. This is being frugal, holding on to your money. It could be sometimes the opposite of that, it could be that you're too much of a spender, and so maybe the card is telling you to maybe you need to cut back on that and hold on to your money. So depending on what the situation is, it can go either way. But very interesting with this particular card, because in this deck, the Four of Pentacles is unlike any I've seen in any other deck before. It's almost like we're looking at a skeleton. So I do kind of feel like I'm not going so much as far as the traditional definition of the Four of Pentacles, rather his physical appearance. I think that this man probably is, tattered looking, not very healthy looking, possibly lost weight. Sometimes when you're not there, you might not have much of an appetite. I kind of feel like this person has lost weight. He definitely does not look like the same person that they were looking for in 1970. Definitely aged, older. This person here is like I said, it's like a skeleton. It's kind of like a creepy skeleton. And he's holding on to something. Now, typically, this is the Four of Pentacles. In a normal tarot deck, he's holding on to a pentacle. In this one here, the pentacles, I think, are representing attachments. And so there's something or some things in his life that he is not ready to give up on. He is adamant to keep it. He's attached to it. Whether it is something tangible or physical, or if it's just a way of thinking, I don't know. But are there letters? Are there clues? Are there things that he has kept over the years that he is attached to? Are there trophies that he has kept that he is attached to, and he just cannot get rid of them? Is this something where maybe possibly if this person ever, obviously they're going to pass away sometime, but, is this going to be a case where, the old guy, Bob down at the end of the hallway at the whatever apartment building passed away, and, somebody has to go in and clean up his apartment, and then all of a sudden they come across all these things that maybe he has kept throughout the years, and then they start putting two and two together, and they realize that Bob was the Zodiac killer all along. It kind of gives me that kind of vibration, that this person has things. He has kept things very, very close to the vest, and very near him and close to him, and potentially has some evidence in his possession. So that's how I'm looking at that one. And then again, the Ace of Swords. I don't know, guys. I feel like there's something going on with this book, because we've got the book here, we've got the book here, and we've got the book here. Is this representing a diary of some sort, or some sort of evidence? This is an old book. He's had it for a very long time, because this is definitely a worn and torn book. Something that's very important to him, something that he holds on to dearly, something that he is attached to, something that he writes in. You've got it 3 times here. So interesting that this book is coming out, and so I do feel like he has possession of something that could definitely connect him to being the Zodiac killer. It is quite possible that we will not have any information about that until, maybe he's no longer here physically. There's something that he has that, he can be connected to. So very interesting. And then we have the Wheel. So the Wheel, I feel like his time is going to run out eventually. Sometimes these cases don't get solved. That's just the way it is. That it feels like there's no justice, because they got away with it all these years, and they ended up living a normal life, and died an old person. I don't think it's as easy as that. I think that this man has some serious mental issues with whatever is going on here, and is not right in the head, obviously. Yes, he got away with it in terms of the law, but we don't know what kind of mental shit he's going through, or what kind of life he's had, or anything like that. So, but I do feel like this means his luck is going to change eventually. So maybe if there was no justice here in the physical plane, there will be justice in the spirit realm, in the spirit world, because I do feel like he is going to, pay for the things that he's done. And he could potentially have been paying all of his life, because we don't know what's going on with this man. So definitely I feel like that, I do feel like with this, though, there is going to be a break in the case. I really do. I feel like there's going to be, with these 3 books, there is something that this man has in his possession that if it were to be found by someone, it's going to, I think, identify who this person is. I really do. And this is ridiculous that this person has gotten away with it all this time, but I do feel like eventually we will know. Somebody will find out who this person is. I do feel like it's going to have to wait until this person passes away. And I say that just because of the way this guy looks here. So to me, that right there is this person, probably will be identified, but they're not going to be identified until, they're gone physically. And then we have the 5 of Wands. So the Wands are, our passion, creativity. 5s can sometimes be, I don't know. I'm looking at this case. Hold on a second. Okay, so different. This is exactly why I like to have several different tarot decks on hand, because the images are so sometimes vastly different, and you get a completely different viewpoint on a particular card. This one here, as I'm looking at it, and I'm getting ready to go into the regular spiel of what the 5 of Wands is, I'm looking at it, and it looks like this woman is looking at herself in a mirror. Looks like a reflection. It looks like either it could be a reflection or it could be 2 people. But she has her hand up, both hands up. I guess this hand isn't exactly the same as this one, but for a second there, I was like, okay, is this like a double personality type thing? But now that I'm looking at it more closely, I don't know. I can't tell if this is the same person. Is this the same person, or are these 2 people? 5 of Wands to me is competition. And for some reason, I'm getting a feeling with this card of a person that possibly, maybe, honestly, I feel like I'm getting copycat. I'm getting like copycat murderer, somebody who has almost idolized this person, who wants to be like this person. And that also kind of goes with that traditional definition of the 5 of Wands with competitiveness, things like that. And so, either there's some sort of split personality with this individual, or there's someone else that is looking to be like this person. Is it possible that some of those cases are those murder cases are copycat murders? Maybe. This is a unique card here on this one, so let's keep that in mind. And then we have the moon. So the moon, there's obviously... Yeah, I had to just look at the card here for a second. Lots of creatures and monsters in this deck. I like it, though. I like this imagery. It's creepy. It almost reminds me of like a werewolf, you know, like looks like the townspeople are going after this werewolf or something like that. But definitely a creepy image. Moon's secrets, you know, it's secrets, deception, false reality sometimes. It can be sometimes delusional thinking. And I do think that obviously that goes well with this person, because this person is taking a whole ton of secrets with them when they leave. However, I'm hoping that with this book, there is some evidence that he leaves behind that ties him to all these crimes. And so that at least at some point, I think there's going to be some closure as far as them saying, yeah, okay, it was, you know, Bob at the end of the hallway, or, oh my God, I can't believe this, but now we know who it was. So I think that there is going to be at least some knowledge of what's going on, but there's going to be some other things that I think come out, and a lot of other crimes possibly that he's connected to that they don't realize. I think I read someplace where he was claiming to be responsible for 37 murders. I think that it's even probably going to be I think it's going to be more than that, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be a lot of things that come out on this guy whenever he does pass away. I do feel like we are going to know who it is once he's gone, once he passes away. So, you know, lots of... and to me, this is an overall creepy card. Not usually, but this image is. So I think that this person really has some creepy things that he has done, besides what we know about. And it's definitely going to be, I don't know, it's going to be something, I think. I really do. It's just going to be shocking. I think it's going to be shocking. Huh, interesting. All right, so let me just ask a yes or no specifically on the case in Riverdale. Did the Zodiac have anything to do with the Riverdale murder in 1966? 10 of Cups. So again, if I'm doing a yes or no, this is a good card. So usually the way I do the yes or no, if it's a positive card, it's going to be a yes. If it's not so positive, or if it's negative, it's going to be a no. And so 10 of Cups is, to me, definitely a yes card. We're not going by the definition. We're just simply going by yes or no, positive, negative. And so this is definitely, to me, a yes card. You know, I do. I really do feel like this person is connected to this case in 1966 in Riverside, California. Lots of similarities, like I said, in the MO. You know, I think this was before he was obviously known as the Zodiac Killer, and so I think that he just kind of, you know, had been murdering for a long time, and maybe got a little bit more confident, and eventually, you know, started taunting the police and you know, enjoying that. I think he enjoyed taunting them. Why did he stop, though? So let's ask that. Why did he... Oh, that came out. Why did he stop? The Queen of Pentacles. Why did he stop? The Queen of Pentacles. So this, to me, would indicate some sort of female presence, or, you know, some sort of divine feminine type person, or vibration. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a woman in his life, but I kind of feel like it's possible that a woman entered into his life. Maybe that was the reason why he stopped writing the letters. Now, I don't believe that this is a man who has a family or is with anybody at this point. I believe that he's more of a loner, but that doesn't mean that he's never had any kind of female companionship or anything like that ever in his life. And so I kind of wonder if there is possibly someone who entered into his life at that time, and that had something to do with the ceasing or the stopping of the sending in the letters. So let's pull another one for clarifying on that one. Why did the letters stop? Why did the letters to the police up and stop? Why did the letters stop? Eight of Swords. Look at that one. Crazy imagery. This is evil eye. He obviously has an evil eye. And look at that. We have a female. We have a female inside of a jar. It's like he's got her. It's like he's a monster, right? We know that's him. He's got an evil eye, so we know that he's evil, right? And he's captured someone. And I did pull the Queen of Pentacles. So, I said, I think that this is a woman that entered into his life. Doesn't necessarily mean that it was by choice on her end, okay? So this brings a whole new perspective on this one. This is somebody who is trapped. This is somebody he has captured. Did he capture someone? Did he keep a woman alive? Look at that smile. He's happy. He loves doing what he does. He is just pure evil. He is pure evil. He is a monster. Like I said here, something happened. And yes, for this being, what was that other one? The 13. Can't remember what it was, but the Dark Mirror Oracle, number 13, Death, Transformation. Something happened to him early on in his life, and it literally transformed him into a true evil human being. And the question is, again, why did these letters stop? Why did they stop all of a sudden after coming in regularly all the time to the media, to the police? Why did they stop? We pull a female. And then we pull this one to clarify. So, honestly, this is crazy to me. I almost feel like it's saying that he took someone capture. I wonder if he had somebody that he was occupied with. Maybe he was happy and maybe this was enough for him to stop killing for a while. I don't want to say that. I take that back. I don't think he stopped killing. He may have paused, but I don't think he stopped all the way. But this is crazy. This is unbelievable. To me, that means that he possibly, for entertainment purposes only, it's possible that there was somebody in his life who entered into his life against her will, I might add. Possibly someone that he took as, captive. And that was what his time was occupied with. It's possible he stopped sending letters because he was busy with something like this. And it brought him pleasure. I mean, look at how happy he is to control her and to have her in his possession. Oh, wow. This is crazy. Yeah, I think this was definitely the right deck for this case. Can we get more information on the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles? What's going on here? Was there a woman that he held captive? Was there a woman that he held captive? Ace, another book. And then we've got the Evil Eye again. So this is the Ace of Chalices or the Ace of Cups. So we've got the Evil Eye. We've got another Evil Eye. We've got another book. So we've got 4 books now. I think that this book, whatever this book is the key to busting this case wide open. I think that there is a book that this man is in possession of, possibly like a journal or a diary is kind of what I'm thinking of. And he has written down and recorded everything that he has done and then some. And I do think that this book is eventually going to become known or be found. There's something going on in this book, and like I said, it's the key to everything. It's the key to everything. Okay, so let's also ask if he ever, well, I want to know basically, did he continue to murder people? I want to know if he continued to commit murders. even after this situation. I kind of want to come back to this. This is interesting. This is kind of scary, and horrible for whoever this possible woman was, but also interesting enough for me to kind of go back to it and see if we can get some more information. But in the meantime, I want to know if he committed any more crimes after this time. Eight of Pentacles. Got another 8. And what is 8? Infinity, right? I think that he will always be working. And when I say working, I don't mean his normal 9 to 5 Monday through Friday gig. I mean his crime, killing, and murder gig. I feel like, this is a scary card to pull as far as the question of, is a person still killing? The 8 of Pentacles is not what you want to pull. Because the 8 of Pentacles is a work card. It is a keep doing it until you get it right. You're going to get it there, or you're going to get done. You're going to reach your goal. You're going to succeed. This is work. This is a work card. And so if you look at this, this is also a perfecting skill card. So this guy here is a sculptor, right? It looks like he's got some things behind him that he's worked on, and he's also working on this. And I'm sure that this man has improved his skills over time, right? I'm sure his sculptures didn't start out like that. So this is a man who's been, doing this for quite some time, and he has gotten quite good at it. And so that's why I say this is not really a good card to pull for that question for this situation, because I do feel like this means that this man has continued to do, these things. I feel like he has continued to possibly kill people, in a sense, and I hate saying it like that, but perfecting his craft. This is a work card. This means that he's still working, and we know. I'm not talking about a regular 9 to 5 here. So this is a scary card. I do feel like he has continued to kill. I want to get some more information on this 8 of Swords. What's going on with this woman? Is this somebody that he held captive? Is this a person that he kept? The 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords is always my my shitty decision card. It's that kind of decision where you're a child, you're gonna be punished, and you have to choose between, I always say you have to choose between having your TV taken for 2 days or your phone taken for 2 days. I don't know. Both of them suck for the kid, right? But they have to pick one. It's their punishment. So it's kind of like you're gonna have to decide which choice you want to make. Neither one of them are appealing, but it has to be made. Okay, so you're just gonna have to do it. So that's what the 2 of Swords is. But in this case, we've got somebody, blindfolded, and typically the woman in the card is blindfolded. And I do like this deck because I like that the main person is, besides the females, the main person is a guy, because the 2 of Swords is typically a woman sitting on a stone bench, holding her swords out with her blindfold on in front of, I think there's some water in the background if I'm not mistaken. But I like that this case here in this deck is a man, because it kind of fits well with who we're talking about. So this is definitely somebody who is blindfolded. That could mean a couple things. It could be denial. It could be, so we've got that. We've got somebody playing a violin. And what do you think of when you see a violin? I think of somebody being serenaded, or a fancy dinner. That's what I think of. I think of, on the movies or TV show, and they're, you've got the couple eating in the fancy restaurant and they're being serenaded by a violin player. That's kind of the image that popped into my head when I seen this. And I'm also trying to connect that with this, okay, with this female that possibly was captured. And this kind of vibration of relationship kind of feeling. And it honestly, I feel like I'm leaning towards just saying, because I'm sure you know what I'm thinking. Did he capture somebody and have possibly affectionate feelings for them? I mean, obviously, this is a person that I don't feel is capable of showing or feeling affection, but in his mind, this could have been, there's, again, I'm not a psychiatrist, and I think that this is definitely psychiatrist territory here, but I'm wondering if there was a person that came into his life. Maybe he took a liking to her, didn't know how to show it or didn't know how to deal with it. And, he's not a normal person. So what does he do instead of having a normal relationship with somebody? He possibly captures this woman. Obviously enjoyed having control over her and keeping her bound and keeping her in that position. And again, with this violin here, I'm thinking of possibly, maybe for some reason he liked this particular person. Maybe there was something about this person that he liked her enough to where maybe he didn't kill her, or at least right away. I don't know. But this to me is definitely the Two of Swords in this particular card is kind of making me feel there's some affection with this person. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, the Devil, that makes sense coming out. I was actually surprised that I hadn't pulled the Devil at this point yet. And again, let me just go back to this real quick, guys. Again, I want to reiterate that this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not claiming that the Zodiac killer, for a fact, became attracted to someone and kidnapped her and held her captive. I'm just simply going by these images, and the question again was, why did he stop sending those letters in to the police? Why did all of a sudden he was sending letters in every year or, for however many years, and then boom, all of a sudden up in one day stop? And the first card I pulled was this Queen of Pentacles. And the second card I pulled was the Eight of Swords. Okay. And then I pulled that one after that, but then the Two of Swords. So again, I said there's got to be probably maybe a woman that entered into his life. And then lo and behold, I pulled this one here. And that is definitely being bound, being trapped. And I'm looking at this guy here as the Zodiac, so I'm looking at this guy as the monster, this evil monster, with his evil eye, and he's having a good time, and he's got this person trapped. And so I'm taking this literally in this situation, and I'm just repeating myself because this is really kind of like, creeping me out. It's not what I expected to see. Again, I'm not familiar with this deck that much, and so this is kind of like throwing a loop. It just threw a loop into this whole thing for me. So, and now we've got the Devil. So, take that as you will. This is an evil person. I think we can tell that this person is evil just by this one and some of the other ones around here. This is a person that is very, he is very, I almost want to say the dark. Look at that, man. What a pull. What a pull. This is probably one of the darker pulls I've ever done. Yeah, this guy is literally a monster. He is a monster. There's nothing else I can say. And I do believe he's still alive, and I do believe he has continued to kill, and I do believe that he killed prior to being known as the Zodiac Killer. And I do think that this is something that stemmed from childhood. There's something going on with this motherly figure in his life. Something happened. A piece of him broke at one point. I don't know what it was. But a piece of him broke, and he did change after that, and he turned into a monster. There's something going on with this book. Guys, I have 4 books here. If you've been watching this reading since the beginning, I've got 4 books here that I feel like he has kept a journal or something. There is something in his possession that possibly when this man passes away, and, you know, I think that may come out at that time. Let's just draw a couple more because, oh my God, I'm already at an hour. Oh my God, why does the hour go by so fast? Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. I don't know. It just, oh God, I feel like I've been reading cards for 10 minutes, honestly. I didn't even get into the other deck. Okay. And I'm still curious about this woman. Like, I almost... What can we see here? King of Swords. Oh my God, again. Okay. Guys, I know this is a dark deck. Okay, hold on a second. Let me pull some of this up so that you guys can actually see what I'm looking at here. Okay, look at this. The King of Swords. That is him. That is him. This is that a snake? Oh God, it's like a Medusa type thing. I mean, he's got like, I thought it was a snake under the gown, but it's like tentacles. He's got like tentacles coming out from his mask. This is somebody who you don't want to encounter. To me, this is him. This is him. This is somebody that you don't want to cross paths with. And I do feel like he is still active. I do feel like he is still out there doing these crimes. I don't think that he taunts the police anymore. For whatever reason. Why? Let me see. Because when I first asked about taunting or stopping to send these letters, that's when I started pulling the woman, and then I got kind of sidetracked. So let me go back to that. What other reason could there be for him to stop communicating with the police? Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is usually kind of like a defensive type card, being attacked. Not to say that this person doesn't like the attention, because I think that the Zodiac Killer does like the attention. I think he is narcissistic, and he does like that. And he also likes to be portrayed or think of himself as being the smart one. But I do feel like there's also a side of him that didn't like to be on the attack side. He didn't, I think he got enjoyment out of playing with people, but I think possibly maybe the attention was getting to be too much for him and felt like they were getting kind of close, if that makes sense. That's kind of where I'm headed with this card. I'm kind of wondering if, he didn't like feeling like, because this card here is almost like a being backed into the corner type of card. And I do look at this here as him. Okay. And I look at this here, this guy with the newspaper or whatever it is. And if you can see that, and this hat, I kind of feel like this is the police. This is like the investigator, and that's him. And I kind of makes me feel like maybe the police were on to him at one point. That's how I take this card. I feel like the police were on to him, and he knew that they were on to him. And maybe it was just a little bit too close of a call for him. And so maybe just by ceasing communication, he literally had to cut the ties. If I'm looking at this card as well, I feel like he had to sever that communication with the police in order to continue to, remain unknown. I do feel like, and that's actually another way to look at this King of Swords, because he's got the head, and it's like he severed the head, and so I do almost feel like this also too indicates him ceasing communication. I feel like this here is the police ceasing communication with anyone, media, police, anything, because it was getting a little bit too close of a connection of them finding him, and the attention that was on him, people looking out for him. I think that's honestly what happened. I feel like he stopped communication because of that. I think that's all it was. He was afraid that he was going to get caught. I think that they got close. I think that the FBI probably has a good idea of who this is, and they probably got pretty close. They might not have quite enough evidence to really do anything or to connect him, but I think that they have a good idea, and I think that he knows that they have a good idea, and he probably thought it was time for him to shut up and just go on about his business and not continue to, be in the public eye. So that's kind of what I think. So let's just do, because I'm already at 1:06, or an hour. Why do I always say a minute? I'm already at 1 hour and 6 minutes. So let me do, okay, hold on. Does the FBI know who it is? Do they know who it is? Yes or no? Does the FBI know who it is? All right, so the knave is the page. So we've got the Page of Pentacles. Got a pyramid back there. Somebody focused. I feel like with a page, I kind of feel like they have suspicions, but not enough. They don't have enough concrete evidence or, anything solid to really go forward with any one in particular person. But I do feel like there are suspicions. I pulled a page when I was doing the Delphi case as well, and I think I said the same thing, because that's kind of how it makes me feel. It's kind of like they kind of know they're in the right direction, but they're not quite there, and that's kind of how I take this one as well. I think that now so much time has went by that there's people that were working on the case that are probably no longer in law enforcement, or possibly not even alive anymore, and so it's just been over the decades handed over, and so I think it's kind of maybe lost some of its importance over. I don't want to say importance, but it's just kind of, it's not at the front. It's not at the forefront like it was 40 years ago. So I do feel like this overall indicates that the FBI kind of have a good idea, or have an idea of who this is. Let's see. Let's do one more. The Six of Pentacles. So give and take. So this is an exchange. An exchange of give and take. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Honestly, it's not in this case, it's not the typical exchange that I'm thinking of. The giving and the taking, I don't quite know what that is referring to. I almost want to say it's something, honestly, since we're talking about the FBI and what they know and what they don't know, the give and take to me is kind of, it's going back to this card here. Kind of feeling like he was under the fire a little bit, kind of getting too close for comfort. They were getting too close for comfort for him. I think that they were on the right path. They were right there. And then that give and take, which that exchange of communication, because that's where I'm leaning with the Six of Pentacles. I think that exchange of that exchange was an exchange of information. So I send you a letter. We try to figure it out. We try to connect evidence to it. We try to determine who you are, decipher it. I send you a clue. You know, you do this for. I think that is what this card is meaning in this particular case, and so I do feel like that is the reason why the Zodiac no longer communicates with the police. Not because he's in prison, not because he's dead, simply because I think that, I think he was getting a little bit nervous as far as what they were putting together, as far as the pieces of the puzzle. And I do feel like he wanted to remain unknown and, therefore continued doing what he was doing at that time, but was not, being so vocal about it and taunting the police about it. I think that he knew it was time to stop, or else they were probably going to connect the pieces and find out who he is. And I still think that we will eventually all know. There's something going on with this book. We've got 4 books that we pulled in this reading. I don't know. This was an interesting case, guys. I don't want to rehash everything that I just pulled because I have a tendency to do that too, but this is a very interesting case, and I think I got more out of it than I was expecting. I don't know. I'm going to stop it now because otherwise I could go on for another hour and a half, but let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the cards. I know I never got into the Hoodoo Tarot, but this one seemed to suffice for today, and also as well as this one here, the Dark Mirror Oracle deck. That one worked well today. This is a dark guy. This is a dark and evil person. I do believe that we're talking about an evil person in this particular case. So, but yeah, okay. So I'm gonna stop it there. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If there's anything else that you got out of this reading, or anything that you want to add, I appreciate it. And until next week, I will see you then, guys. Have a great weekend. Alright guys, so as I'm rewatching my video, I realized that at a certain point in the video, I do tell you that I want to draw a couple of yes or no questions or cards on both of the suspects that I had mentioned earlier in the video, who happened to be Ross Sullivan and Lawrence Kane. I never did that, so I just completely forgot, which I'm sure has probably happened before. I know a lot of times I say, okay, let's keep that in mind, I'll come back to that, and I never do. So forgive me, I apologize. I do want to draw a couple of cards, just a yes or no. I want to pull one card for each person, one card for each man, and see what we get. Yeah, completely forgot to do that. I swear to God, I need to do just a live video so that you guys can type in and say, hey, wait a minute, Naoka, you forgot to do this, and don't forget to come back to this card. Otherwise, I'll make a note for myself, and I still won't read the note. I'll just have the note sitting here in front of me, and I won't even refer back to it. Same thing when I go to the grocery store. If I have a list, if I don't write it down someplace, I'm not going to remember it, and if I make a list, I forget to look at the list, so it's like, what the hell? Alright, so I'm asking about these 2 suspects to see which one could potentially be the Zodiac killers. So we've got Ross Sullivan. So Ross Sullivan. Let's pull a card for Ross Sullivan. And then let's pull a card for Lawrence Kane. Alright, so let's see what we got. So for Ross Sullivan, ooh. Oh. Okay, 6 of Wands for Lawrence Kane and the Tower for Ross Sullivan. The 6 of Wands is my ego card. That's typically the traditional tarot, where the man's coming in on the horse and he's kind of admired like a hero, I guess. But I look at that as kind of being egotistical and a little bit narcissistic. Honestly, if I just were to do these two cards, if I were to have to lean with someone based on these two cards, that would be a hard one. But I would lean towards Lawrence Kane on this one. Now, the Tower, definitely you could look at the Six of Wands as both positive or negative. It has, all cards have both positive and negative to all of them. Okay, so, but in this card particular, you know, it usually has a positive connotation. So that's kind of why I would also lean with a yes, because typically it's looked at as a positive card. The Tower, however, is the Tower card, never a positive card, always kind of a frightening, scary card that comes in whether you're ready or not, like a tornado. So definitely kind of a negative, vibe to it. So this would be a no. Then again, somebody could argue that this is the turmoil that this man caused in his wake. But I honestly, if I had to choose one or the other, I would say that this one here. And this would kind of go with the personality traits of the Zodiac killer, being egotistical, being a narcissist, just having these, this idea that he's, outsmarted everyone around him, the police. That to me really does kind of scream. And it's like, again, if you look at the pictures, if you look at the people in the card, I do feel like this cloaked person here, this whatever this thing is here, is definitely the Zodiac. And again, here's that other person with the hat and the suit. I feel like this is the police. I really do. I feel like this represents the police, and this here represents the Zodiac. And it's like he's taunting. It's like he's giving him something. So honestly, in this particular reading, this card here really is... that one, it kind of is making me lean towards Lawrence Kane. So, again, I'm going to put those videos that I watched in the description box. They do go over Ross Sullivan in these videos as well as Lawrence Kane. I encourage you guys to watch it and, let me know what you think. They're not that long. They're probably 45 minutes, and I think that there's either 5 or 6 videos that you can watch. I don't know if it was like a seasonal thing or a series or what it was, but they really get into in-depth information on both of these men. By the end, though, I had no decision on who I was leaning towards. They were both almost the same. This is what is swaying me to make me feel like it could be Lawrence Kane. And let me know again in the comments. Sorry that this is so long, but let me know again in the comment section what you think about that woman that I pulled, the 8 of Swords, where the woman was captured inside of that little glass bottle. The question again, I'm just so blown away by that card. It just keeps like haunting me tonight. But the question was why did the Zodiac stop sending in the letters and stop taunting the police? And we really kind of got two things. So I pulled the woman, that there was possibly somebody in his life. And then I pulled the 8 of Swords, which was like someone who was captured. And so that concerned me to, made me wonder, okay, did this man, hold a woman captive? Is that what was occupying his time? He kind of got interested in something else. And then later on, I started pulling cards that kind of made me feel like perhaps the police were getting too close and that he kind of felt like he was playing with fire, and maybe just to be on the safe side, sever that communication with the police, because I think that if he continued to give them more evidence, eventually they would crack one of these codes and identify him. And I think that he knew that. I think he was smart enough to know that and to stop while he was ahead. So we've kind of got two different things, those two. So let me know what you guys think, if you kind of feel like it's one or the other or both. It could have been both. But anyway, so I just wanted to come back and draw these two cards. And again, have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys next week.